happy Monday, grade fives. So today is Monday, April 6th, 2020. All you'll need are your math notebook, a pencil, a highlighter, just like yesterday. Okay, today's a very short lesson, and it will be super easy if yesterday's made sense, you've done your practice questions from yesterday. It's very, very similar, so our title is Creating Shapes with a Given Area. Yesterday you're doing the same thing when you were given the perimeter. Now you're doing the same thing as yesterday, you're trying to figure out the dimensions of the shape when you're given the area, okay? So it's very similar I can statement as well. I can create a shape when I'm given an area, okay? So pause this, write this down, and we can start doing it. So today's gonna be very short and easy, so yay! And actually, I'll just erase this. I've got a fresh page to work with. Okay, so if you remember yesterday, because the steps are very similar as well as the actual procedure. So it's step one, and I'll say, okay, example one. Let's say I have given you, I have given you, I say find, actually no, it'll be even simpler. So example one, let's say when area is given, okay, so area of a rectangle is, and I'll say it is, let's say 20 centimeter, what is it, 20 centimeter square, okay? Even if I didn't put this there, you should right away, oh, Miss Mav was just talking about area because of the square. Okay, so very similar to yesterday. I have given you the area of the shape, which is 20 centimeters. What could now be the potential dimensions of the shape? So again, very much like yesterday, let's go through the steps. First steps are very similar. So step one, right? Very similar to yesterday would be to draw and label with, draw and label shape with variables. So, again, the most important part here is I'm drawing and labeling the shape with a variable. So remind me what the shape is. The shape happens to be a rectangle, so I'm going to draw a rectangle. Okay, something like that. And what are my variables? So again, same thing as yesterday. I have to make any letter to represent the sides. So I'm going to do, let's do something different. We can do M, and we can do Y. M and Y, my. So M and Y. And again, we know this variable is also, if this is Y, this is also Y. If this is M, this is also M. Okay, that should be very obvious now. So that's step one. I've drawn and labeled my shape. Let's do, okay, pause that, write that down, and I'm going to erase it. So step one, draw and label your shape of variables. Easy enough. I drew a rectangle. I wrote down the variables. Okay. Step two, and sort of step three, which is step two, which is sort of pretty much it, because after that you're just filling it in, is to find or fill in, yeah, we'll say fill in equation. Keep it even simpler. You're filling in the equation. Now, this time, because for perimeter there's a full-on correct equation. So what is the equation for area? What is my equation? We know that area is equal to what? Length. This should be very obvious. Times width. Right? That was from last week and grade 4. So the area of a rectangle is length times width. Now for us, for our example, I chose the variables, right? So we're going to say usually area is equal to length times width, right? Now in my example, area is equal to M times Y, right? Now for the area equation, you can always just keep it L and W. That would be a good suggestion. So when you're doing your step one, good example would just always keep it as width and L. Just so that's always easy for you to know, okay, it's length times width, L times W. Because those are Whether you knew it or not, those were variables you were using. So all week yesterday you were working with variables and you just didn't even really know it, right? So that would be a good choice, but just because we did m and y, we're going to try this fast. So I've gotten my equation. Area is equal to m times y. So whatever I put in m, if I multiply by whatever I put in y, it should equal what? 20 centimeter squared is equal to m times y. So now this is just like the puzzle part. This is the fun part, putting in anything in there, any two numbers that will equal 20. So let me erase this. I'll pause this. I'm going to erase this whole thing. Actually, I'll just erase this part. So, from step 2, I got 20 centimeters squared is equal to m times y. So, what two numbers that can I multiply so that it equals 20? And I'll put my rectangle here. M times y. So think of your multiplication facts. Again, why multiplication is so, so important. What two numbers equal to multiply? What two numbers multiply equal 20? So 20 centimeters squared is equal to what? 5 times 4? That's 1. Okay, so that would be correct. What's another one? 20 centimeter squared is equal to 20 times 1. That is also correct, because I could have a rectangle. Maybe it's a really, really slim one, right? Because we don't know what the shape looks like. It could be 1 here, it could be 20, right? So those are your two possibilities. Any other ones? There's one more. You know other two numbers that equal? 20 centimeters squared is equal to 10 times 2. So this could be 2, and this could be 10. So any two numbers multiplied to equal 20 would be correct for this example. That makes sense? So same thing as yesterday. Now you're just using the formula or the equation for area instead of perimeter. So instead of saying side plus side plus side plus side for perimeter, we know that we do length times width. So one number times another. So we know that all of these numbers, if I multiply them, they equal 20. So these are all possibilities. So again, if I got this answer and my neighbor got this and maybe your sister at home was trying to do it as well, you're all correct. There's different possibilities because you don't know what the shape looks like. So that's okay, right? Pause this, write this down. Let's do one more example. Okay. So I'll say this is example. Where's my book? Example 2. So now I'm going to say I have given you a rectangle with an area of, same thing, when area is given, and the area of a rectangle is, I would say, let's say 63 centimeters squared. So so now we're going to, and we won't have to do it step by step, but I'll draw the rectangle here because I know it's a rectangle. So step 1, rectangle, and just for this case, I'm going to keep it the same, right? So width and L. I would recommend doing just L and W always for area. So my area, or my equation is, area is equal to length times width. What do we know from this equation? Do we know the L? Nope. Do we know the W? Nope. Do we know the A? Do we know what area equals? Yes, we know 63 centimeter squared is equal to something times something. Let's fill it in. Again, now you're just doing your multiplication facts. Okay, multiplication facts. What two numbers can I multiply together that will equal 63? So option 1, 63 centimeters squared is equal to what? 63 times what number that could represent L that could equal, multiplied by W would equal 63. 9 times what? 9 times 7. That could be 1. So I could have a rectangle that is 9 centimeters and 7 centimeters. So that is correct. What's another one? 63 centimeters squared is equal to, what's another shape? The only other one you could do is 63 times 1, right? That one is always a given one. So this will obviously really long, but 163. Okay? Very similar to yesterday. So the only different thing now is you're given area. The equation now this time we're always looking at is area is equal to length times width. And in this case, for example, 63 was given to us, the area was given to us, and we know it's 63. So 63 is equal to what two numbers multiplied? This one, really, if you know your multiplication facts, which all of us should, and if you don't, please, every day, whether it's for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whether even it's for 5 minutes, review your multiplication facts if you're not a multiplication master already. Okay? I know a lot of my students in my class have already achieved that, so they are masters. Some of us still need to work on our multiplication because this is all multiplication. If you don't know what two numbers equals 63, you can't do this unit, right? Which is why when we're teaching multiplication, we stress so much, and I know Mr. Matt and Miss Rachel must have too, that it is so important to get it. Just because we move on to the next unit doesn't mean you forget everything that you just learned or you don't focus on it. So maybe during that unit, you really just couldn't get multiplication. Well, you had so many more months to practice, right? So keep practicing. You will get it eventually, okay? The more you do it, the better it gets. So all we do is you put any two numbers that equal 63. Anything times itself obviously will be the answer, so that's always a given one, okay? So that's it for today. I'm going to post some examples just like today where I've given you area on Edmodo, and I want you to do those practice questions. And that is all for today, okay? We will have a check-in tomorrow. So tomorrow, I will do a check-in on, I'll just give you some more review questions on the same thing. And we'll do a check-in on these two topics from Sunday and today. I'll give you a check-in about when I'm giving you the information, when I've given you the area of a perimeter, or when the area of a rectangle, or when I've given you the perimeter of a rectangle, okay? And you have to figure out the unit. So yesterday's topic and today's topic will be on our check-in tomorrow, not today. Today you're just doing the questions on Edmodo. Tomorrow you'll have a check-in. So this week you'll have two math check-ins, one on Tuesday and then one on Thursday, okay? Have a lovely day. I will see you soon. Bye.